I've noticed that it's going to be 10 years between novels for me, between my new novel, The Buried Giant, and my last one, Never Let Me Go. It comes as a bit of a shock, and I feel I need an alibi of sorts, and here it comes. I blame my wife. I was getting on quite happily with this novel, and I'd written, you know, maybe I think about 70, 80 kind of finished pages, and I was rather pleased with it, so I thought I'd let my wife Lorna have a look at it, and she had a look at it and said, look, this is awful. You cannot publish this. You know, this just will not do. You can't even revise it. You're going to have to abandon it, you know, start from scratch. That's very disheartening. You have to admit, I've been doing this for some time, and so I did. You know, after a little bit of a kind of emotional struggle, I decided to take good advice, and I abandoned the whole thing, and I had to start again right from the beginning, right from scratch, rebuild the whole thing again. And this was such a distressing experience that I had to go away and do something else for a little while. I wrote some song lyrics for my friend jazz singer Stacey Kent, and I helped people make a movie and things like this. And then I came back to it kind of refreshed, and I rebuilt it from the ground up, you know. I tell you, it was very nerve-wracking when I showed it to her. I decided not to show it to her until I more or less finished it this time. It was very nerve-wracking, but she said, okay, this time you can go ahead with this. So here we are, 10 years later, going to publish The Buried Giant. Here's a question. When is it better to remember, and when is it better to forget? I'm referring mainly to kind of like uncomfortable memories from the past. You know, if you dwell too much on uncomfortable things from the past and rack your conscience about things, you know, it starts to damage the present, it starts to damage the future. You start to damage the people around you. And yet, if you refuse to look at things you've done in the past too much, I mean, this will lead to problems as well. So I think this is the key question that most of us face frequently at different points in our lives. You know, when is it better just to forget and just move on with life? You know, and when do we really need to look back and be honest and face the past? Now, what I find interesting, I've always found that question very interesting, and I spent a lot of my writing life asking that question in novels. But I've also been very interested in the parallel question, which is how do societies, how do nations, how do communities remember and forget? When is it better for a society to leave its troubled past behind and move on? And when is it better to look back and face some deeply disturbing things that a community or country has done in the past? That same question, well, you know, when should we remember, when should we forget? That's always fascinated me at the societal level as well as at the individual level. And in my new book, The Buried Giant, I've tried to tackle that question at both levels for the first time, I think.